The brutal truth of Black Ops 7 Warzone. There's two things that I want to look at here because obviously, if you guys have read any of the comments, Battlefield 6, oh shit. Well, Westie is a Battlefield legend out here, right? He's been playing the game for a very long time. We've got his opinions after playing Warzone at the event. And I also have Tdawg's vision of this as well. Obviously, major Call of Duty player, longtime player. And I've skipped ahead. I've got the part where he starts talking about Warzone. And I want to hear some of the perspectives, interject some of my own thoughts. Obviously, I got to play it at the event as well. And I'm working on my video, putting things together. But spent the last couple hours processing all of the information with chat and talking about this all on stream. And I wanted to get some other perspectives on here as well and see if this gives us some other ideas to bring up. So let's take a look, see what people are thinking, starting with Westie's video here.
Thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Insanity is the
and
same
that, to
thing.
me, sums up Warzone's Black Ops 7 integration. After last year's underwhelming debut of Area 99, a resurgence map to kick off that year of Warzone content for Black Ops 6, Call of Duty has followed the same route with Black Ops 7, this time introducing Haven's Hollow, another new resurgence map. However, the mid-news doesn't stop there. This time, Haven's Hollow is actually a combination of two round-based zombies maps from last year's game, Liberty Falls and Shattered Vale. Set in the same biome as Liberty Falls,
those are two of
Haven's
the
Hollow
POIs.
takes place before the
Main
outbreak
Street
of zombies,
and the Mansion.
meaning we get a much brighter and more vibrant setting for Warzone, which is a good change.
Very different from
But many
Area
of you
99.
who've played zombies will be familiar with the main town area layout. It features the start location of the Liberty.
That's this area here. And I will say, I didn't get to actually play the map very much. I only got to run around in the pregame lobby because it wouldn't queue. But this area was kind of sick, especially after playing the zombies as much as I did and playing this area. Now, obviously, maybe I'm more of the minority of the people who play zombies and Warzone, so maybe people aren't even happy with that in the first place. But I thought it was pretty sick running through all these areas because this map takes place prior to the event of zombies, so everything's still intact. It's not all destroyed and looking like craziness.
Falls map, the gas station and the motel. And then extending up the hill, we get the church location as well. Beyond that layout, that's where the Shattered Vale assets come in, helping to expand the play space with the mansion in the far north of the map, and there's even a research center over in the top right-hand.
And they've opened up new areas that also weren't available. Even like in the bowling alley, there's a kitchen area where zombies would come in, the rooftop where you would get the exfil for zombies. This stairwell has been opened up. So there's new pathways that have been opened into the areas as well. So it's not the exact same, but obviously a big complaint of what people bring up is obviously a recycling of content.
Corner over a small river. Now, all of these POIs are interspersed with other buildings and elements that sort of stitch things together, creating a map that's close in size to Fortune's Keep, although the player count doesn't go up as high as
slightly
that map.
larger than Rebirth,
they
said.
At 45.
45, yep,
trios.
that's the cap on this.
Now, in terms of Resurgence gameplay, the map actually does a pretty decent job of keeping the action flowing across various different engagement distances.
I didn't get to play it much. I can't attest to it so much.
And the density of buildings in the main town area over by the river really ups the tension on close quarters gunfights. And with virtually every roof on the map accessible and most buildings maxing out at 3 or 4 stories in height, there's some great long-range sniping opportunities as well. The map itself is okay. I had some good gameplay moments on it, but I just couldn't shake the point from my brain that I was literally playing on a map made of recycled assets from a game that was released the previous year. It kind of felt cheap to me. It almost felt like the bare minimum was being done to check a box that says, new map for Warzone. We've done that. I'd say
that's valid.
No matter the unique additions, such as the riverboat down by the shore and the play space actually extending into the water, with it only being ankle deep as well, so there's no swimming involved, which is a good thing.
The part right ahead of him, you actually can swim in. There's a couple parts of the river that you can swim in, but he is right. The majority of it is less water, and they even told us that they're trying to take out a lot of the swimming areas. Like, they don't want it to be a bunch of swimming in the map. You can swim off the south side of the map as well, but majority, like, there's a pond POI just to the west of the mansion. That's just ankle-deep water, so you run through it.
My opinion, it's still very much a map that's made with assets that already exist, assets that we've already played on last year. It's all been retrofitted to fill a gap in the lineup for Warzone, moving into a new premium Call of Duty release. The whole map kind of just felt underwhelming to me. It didn't really have a wow factor, despite the fact that it played pretty decently for...
Here's the thing for me is like, if we had one of these every 2 months, every 3 months, I don't think the reusing of content and everything is that bad. But the last time we got a new map was Area 99. That was a lot of new area to it. They didn't just take Nuketown and then expand it. It was still like Nuketown themed because it was that area. That's where the Nuketowns are made. But it was still like a totally new thing. But then it also was removed 2 months later. Sheikah's gone. Vondel's gone. Fortune Keep Redo is gone. Everything else is gone out of the game. And I think that helps. Is like, if we're still pumping out more content, we're just reusing some assets to make some more of the pump content and get a bunch of stuff out, which maybe that's not even a good thing or way to do it, but they're not doing either of those. And I think that's the bigger problem. It's like, this is our 1 year big update. Last time we got a new big map was 3 years ago with Urzikstan, because we didn't get one last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago. Either way, it's been a long time. We got Verdansk, but that's not a new piece of content, right?
Or a resurgence map. And then we've got the big map. Oh boy. We're sticking with Verdansk for the launch of Warzone for Black Ops 7, which I think is probably the option that most people would have wanted the least. And to try and somehow justify the stance of sticking with a map that I think has become beyond...
Again, to me, it's like, this is good. I think it's great Verdansk is here. I think it's great that it's still here. But it's still not new content. It's like, this should be part of it. But it shouldn't be the whole package. This should be like a side piece. Like, yo, we got this thing you guys love. This is still part of it. This is still there. Just like Nuketown's always there. They always hype it up like it's a brand new thing. Like, oh my God, Nuketown, can you believe it? We've got Nuketown. It should always be there. Just like all of these maps should just be there and should be built upon game, but instead it's not,
stale,
right?
Since its reintroduction, we're
getting
getting 2 POIs added to the map. Signal Station and Factory. Signal Station is being placed right on top of the frozen lake to the south of Millibase, changing the location completely with a large
Westie's
weather station
impressed.
set atop a hill, a helipad on the frozen lake, so that
Granted,
does
he's
remain,
also a COD player,
and
but
a few outbuildings in the form of warehouses
obviously big Battlefield player as
offices.
well.
Factory is literally the same POI from Verdansk 84, added back onto the edge of the airport next to the aircraft hangars. Another completely recycled idea from a previous version of Warzone. Now, again, a little bit like Haven's Hollow, the
crazy?
new POIs on Verdansk are okay. They play fine. The signal station being a...
Again, to me, it's like, yeah, I'm with him, but we just need more content for it. So you could do pretty much anything. But it's just like, let's do some stuff.
Brand new addition does help somewhat. There's no inbuilt muscle memory at all. And it does change up the gameplay in that location massively from what was there before. But as for Factory, again, it plays fine, but it's not new. It's an old PO.
Would this be better for you guys? Let's say we also, with this, obviously we got the announcement for Avalon that's coming in 8 months, right? Let's say Avalon and Blackout was dropping on launch day. Would that change things for you guys? If we had Big Map Avalon on November, whatever this game comes out, November 12th or whatever it is, we get Avalon, we get Blackout mode, and we still have Warzone. Warzone's still its thing, and we got Resurgence. Maybe they bring back a couple more of the Resurgence maps. Would that change things for you guys? No? Yes? 100% better? I like the variety, so it would help. Should have been released at the start, $1 billion. I mean, ideally, it was released last year, right? Should have had Avalon for a year at this point. My point exactly.
POI that's been slapped back onto the Verdansk map again. When I was playing, I kept thinking to myself, why weren't these POIs added onto Verdansk during the previous?
Or if we had a complete, like this was this was just like every week we were getting POI changes and gameplay changes with that. Maybe, again, I don't know how much it takes to make all of these things happen, especially because they're trying to balance it across all these different modes and everything. But we have that. And then, boom, all of a sudden we're back in the 80s and we get the dam overhaul. We get the downtown overhaul. I guess that's kind of already been done. But all of the POI changes that they changed for, like, I guess they've kind of already done Stadium to a degree as well. Maybe it's just Dam that hasn't been changed. I don't remember what else wasn't changed in Verdansk. But they go back and we get the whole iteration there. Because they're probably still going to do the Dam change at some point too, but they're just spacing it all out really widely here.
6 months. These would have been great additions to Verdansk shortly after its relaunch.
Sure.
That would have kept players on their toes, and it definitely would have capitalized better on the excitement and enjoyment that players had back in March. But they've left those changes until now, long after that hype has died down, at a moment where players weren't calling for additions and changes to Verdansk, but instead they were calling for a brand new map altogether. Once again, this update to Verdansk feels more like a check off of the list for the launch, as opposed to something that is actually supposed to excite and invigorate players to play Warzone again. As someone who hasn't really put that much time into Warzone over the last few months, I can't say that I'm itching to get back to playing Verdansk based on these additions.
And this was my biggest point. I don't think there's going to be any interest for people to come back to the game for this, or even for Warzone. This is really just for the people who are already playing the game. Like, they're probably not going to lose that audience because they're not really changing the game that much. It's just another update. It's not like this is a new game for the people that are playing the game already.
Need to be doing a lot more than that to really get my attention again. And then, this is where things get really weird. Something did actually get my attention. During the main COD Next broadcast, Call of Duty announced that Avalon, a large-scale map that had been speculated to be coming to Warzone,
he hasn't mentioned anything about
back
Rebirth Island
at the launch of
either.
Black Ops 6 last year, as the new big map for Battle Royale, is now coming as part of Warzone for Black Ops 7. But not until the spring of 2026. Here's the clip from the broadcast.
This is indeed a shot from the upcoming Black Ops 7 co-op campaign, right?
Yeah.
So that's the truth. This is campaign gameplay.
Yeah.
This is Avalon.
Yeah.
But what if I told you that two things can be true at once? So I am happy to officially confirm that we are bringing a bold new experience to Warzone in the spring, inspired by the original Blackout and set on Avalon.
Shut the front door, Blackout, baby. We're back.
And with the arrival of our new experience on Avalon, we'll be running both the classic Battle Royale experience on Verdansk and this new mode on Avalon simultaneously. So we're giving Warzone players more options on how they want to play.
So, from what the hosts were saying, we're getting Avalon, a new big map, but it's going to be run alongside Warzone and Verdansk at the same time, but it's going to be Blackout, or at least inspired by Blackout.
You gotta pay attention to the words that they use. It's not gonna be Blackout. It's inspired by. Inspired by. So the thing is, I don't see a world where they ever go back to what the true Blackout was, with like looting attachments off the ground. And by all means, COD, prove me wrong, but they make too much money on the bundles every time an update comes out, because you got to buy the bundle to get all the attachments unlocked right away. And there's a lot of players who don't want to do the grind. You buy the bundle and then you get the attachments, and you can then play the game competitively. Versus in Blackout, everybody's on a level playing field. So you don't have to grind weapons. You don't have to grind anything. Now, I told this to a couple of the players that were there. They're like, yeah, but you can grind for camos. And it's like, a lot of people don't care about grinding for the camos. You could still buy packs for the camos, even for the cosmetics. So then they have to create an entire new system, because if you don't get loadout weapons, what does that mean? You go up to a weapon on the ground and it automatically applies your skin? Is that what we're going to do with it? Because that system's not in the game right now. Maybe you have to drop it on the ground, re-pick it back up to get your skin applied that you bought from the store. People are a lot less incentivized to just buy the skin for the cosmetic, because also, what happens when you buy that skin for the cosmetic? Well, you change the attachments, because the attachments they put on the guns are ass. And when you change the attachments, you don't even see the cosmetics that are on the gun anymore. It's pay to lose in a lot of ways, but you're just doing it to unlock the gun and the core attachments to unlock the progression. So the core reason a lot of people buy it, they're not going to get rid of their cash cow off of that. So I just don't realistically see them ever doing that. And I've said this 10 million times already, but I'm just going to keep saying it because there's evidence of it at that point. And hopefully this gets through to some people that don't understand what's going on.
How's that going to work? Because Warzone's the product and Blackout's a separate product. How are you going to have both of them together working alongside each other. It doesn't really make much sense. And right now, that's all we know.
But if it's almost all the same, but the difference is that there's different equipment in the mode, for example, let's say you've got a grappling hook and you've got double jumping inside of Blackout. If that's the only difference, because it's inspired by it, so it's got those two features, now you can say it's inspired by Blackout while still retaining all the same core systems, and it's not going to be that different. They can still keep all the same monetization. They don't need to add stuff like camo pickup, weapon change, and all of these other things. You see what I'm saying?
We've sort of been left hanging here, and not in a good way, like a cliffhanger in a good film or a good TV show where you absolutely want to know more, in like a confusing way where you've got no idea really what's happening, really what to expect, or whether you should actually be excited or not. And a side note here, creators like myself, literally all 250 creators in that room, we knew nothing about this Avalon Blackout announcement. We were all in the dark about it, and most of us had to be let know when this news dropped.
I've already done a 30-minute rant on it, so I won't go long here, but this is really bad, really poorly done.
Our own chats.
He's right.
And ironically, I'd said a couple of times during the Haven's Hollow gameplay section of my own stream that it would have been way more exciting to have Avalon as a map to play at COD Next, not a recycled Resurgence map. It's all a bit of a mess, to be honest, and it does give me the feeling that these plans and announcements are kind of being thrown together at the last minute. It doesn't really inspire that much confidence. If you remove the current context of Warzone, which in my opinion is a fatigued product that is in serious need of revival, an announcement of a Blackout-inspired experience on a new map called Avalon, that should be absolutely massive news for the game. But somehow, I'm just left feeling pretty flat overall. And I think it comes from the fact that nobody really had any idea they were going to announce this. And when they did, they didn't announce it to all the creators who have been flown out to this massive event purely to showcase the new product. Surely it makes sense to...
He still hasn't even mentioned the other element. They are completely redoing Rebirth Island. I think he still doesn't know. They never communicated this to anybody.
Tell those
they want like their whole marketing push. They spent all this money on marketing stuff. What do we do? And the people that are even there to help market it here, like that's what we're doing, right? That's what I always say. That's what all of these. That's even what a beta is. It's not even a beta for them to get feedback. It's to market the product. They're marketing it.
Creators that they're going to do this so that they can let their audience know. So they might be interested in it.
They don't even know.
That didn't happen. It's just really...
My chat was spamming Avalon, and I was like, guys, they weren't even spamming it. It was a couple people would say, Avalon, is Avalon there? Is Avalon coming? And I was like, no. So like my whole communication to my audience was there's no Avalon. The whole marketing push was there's no Avalon coming. Stop talking about Avalon. And it actually is.
Weird, to be honest.
It's so weird.
I don't know about you guys, because of course it is a bit different with you watching gameplay versus me literally having hands-on with the product. But the beta is coming out in like a day, so hopefully you'll have a chance to play the game before you put down any money to decide whether you like it or not. But for me, Black Ops 7 Warzone doesn't feel like a product that's really grabbing me at the moment. There's nothing here that's been announced today that is really getting me pulled in that makes me want to play it when it launches. We are, of course, getting all the Black Ops 7 weapons, lethals and tacticals and field upgrades and perks brought across into Warzone. We're getting new quality of life updates as well, changes to weapon balancing. We're getting that Resurgence map that, despite it being made of recycled assets, was okay gameplay-wise, and we're getting minor updates to Verdansk. Is there really anything on that list that excites you enough to want to play Warzone? So I'll pose the question to you. Is that exciting enough for you? Are you likely to play Warzone based on everything that was announced today? I'm going to answer that question. Right now, probably not. I'll probably jump on with my friends day one.
See you guys on Battlefield 6.
Whether it's a good experience with them. But having played it today solo, there was nothing really jumping out at me when I was playing it that's like, yeah, damn, can't wait to get home and fire up this game and play it again. I kind of felt like I actually experienced everything in just a couple of hours, which for a major Warzone update is a pretty major concern. The most eye-opening announcement is that reveal that Avalon will be coming as this Blackout-inspired experience in the spring of 2026, which kind of says it all, really. It goes back to what I said at the beginning. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Right.
This year, when you zoom out, Call of Duty has placed down the same blueprint that they placed down last year. A new Resurgence map at launch, a few minor tweaks to Big Map, and then a big announcement, but it's only coming 6 months down the line, so you're going to have to wait a long...
And isn't that interesting? We saw what happened in the last year with Warzone, and they said, that's what we want to do again. Okay, so now this is the other perspective, and this is Tdawg. He's more of a Call of Duty player, so I'm curious if he has any different perspectives on this, and we'll take a listen. This is specifically getting into the Warzone element of all of his thoughts from the event.
I'm this guy that didn't do any Easter eggs. I gotta do more of them, to be honest with you. So let's get to Warzone. I don't know if anybody's made it this far, to be honest with you. Let's get to Warzone. Let me lean back a little bit on this one. Again,
Teep said they're out of touch with,
you guys think
with
I'm a
the
shill.
community.
Warzone ain't it, little bro. Warzone ain't it. Warzone has had its fun in the sun. And it has done what it needed to do. It was good to revive
It
Call
brought a
of
lot
Duty
of players
back
in.
2020, 2021, 2022. The MW19 through Vanguard era. After that, we should have been looking for changes. We should have been looking for some sort of different thing to make the twist in the Battle Royale feel different and unique.
I mean, didn't they do that with DMZ 2.0? I would say they completely changed the whole game. I think that's part of the problem. They didn't really expand on it. At the state the game's at now, it is I would say, a good expansion from what the original game was. But they were going this way, and then they completely turned directions, and then they completely turned it back. Because Warzone 2 added... It changed everything about the game, at least for people that were playing it, turned a bunch of people away. Just, this is what my point is, like, it seems like they don't have a solid direction that they're ever going.
And to me, this game has felt the same now for 5 years.
Well, I think part of why it feels the same, too, is that we are literally on the same map from 5 years ago. We have Rebirth Island and we have Verdansk with no alternative ways to play, with pretty much still that same core thing. It took them that long to get back to the beginning. We went so far away, it's taken them now years to get back to where we were at the beginning. So, of course, it feels the exact same. Where's the new maps? Like, I would be down to play with these mechanics on some different maps. If we got a new map every season, that would be a lot more interesting than getting an event that you loot the same boxes and get a different colored skin reward out of the exact same box. You know, there's a very big difference between those things.
Well, I think in the Warzone side of things, they're starting to get that fatigue that the multiplayer people feel sometimes. It's like, all right, here's another Call of Duty, and it feels the exact same. Now it's people are doing, wow, we got a brand new Warzone, and it feels the...
Somebody in chat, I think, put it best earlier, was that you're spending $120 or whatever, $100, $70 even, on multiplayer and on campaign and all those things. You don't buy anything on Warzone. So that's probably why all of the stuff, like, there's no investment into Warzone, because the content they create for Warzone, where they make the money, is the cosmetics. So that's why, of course, they're just going to make more cosmetics rather than actual gameplay content.
So we played a brand new map. I need to remember what it's called. Hollow Hall or something like that. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Hollow Haven.
Reminded
something.
me of a Blackout map. And I've told you guys this multiple times. I always enjoyed Blackout more than Warzone. Early Warzone, 2020 Warzone, phenomenal. But overall product, I like Blackout better than Warzone. Some of you have no idea what Blackout is. It was Call of Duty's first battle royale with Black Ops 4. And it was a very vibrant game. And this map was that. It was very vibrant, a bunch of POIs, a lot to do. Now, obviously, I didn't have a lot of time with it, maybe a few matches, so kind of lost in the sauce. But I thought it was a decent POI. Now, here's the thing. Do I think it's going to replace Rebirth Island? Probably not. People are just going to go right back to that island. I don't know how people are still playing it 5 years later. Good for you. And I know somebody's going to be smart and say, it was in Black Ops 4 as well. Yeah, okay. 7 years later. Nobody played the BO4 version. Sorry, man. But I liked Haven's Hollow. So that would be, I guess,
Alcatraz.
Cool, I guess. And then Verdansk POI... This is what I have to say about this.
It was also Zombies map before that, by the way. I don't think anybody's brought that up, but Rebirth Island was a Zombies map. So maybe that's the entire idea that they have for Haven's Hollow. Base it off of zombies maps. Maybe they'll be able to rekindle that magic that they did with Rebirth Island. Has anybody even brought that up yet?
I think Verdansk is a great map, but we only have 2 POIs coming in Season 1, and they're this. One's a remastered factory, which we got in Cold War version, and there's a new signal station.
This has more added to it than Rebirth.
I don't think that's going to be enough. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think we're going to lose a lot of people on Warzone. I think they might be dipping numbers.
This is why so many people in the comment section are talking about Battlefield 6 Battle Royale.
With Warzone, as we can see, this one's going to make it dip even more. So
it's new content.
Should have been updated free. Like, I think POI changes for Verdansk should be happening like Fortnite changes their map. Whether it's once a season, whether it's every season should be doing something different to keep that map fresh. Because
every couple of weeks,
fresh,
maybe.
People stop playing.
I think it could be faster than
so,
season.
Overall, Warzone, I think they added some new thing where if you jump off a medium-sized object, it's you do like a barrel roll so you don't take damage. I think that's with the Mountaineer perk. The one thing that I will say that they did say to me, and chat was telling me that they did this already, but they told me when I had a discussion with a dev that they can now tune the attachments separately from multiplayer, like completely. So like if the M8 gets nerfed in multiplayer, it's not nerfed in Warzone.
Before they can only tune they could only tune the base gun. Now they can individually change attachments. That's the difference. I also still roll my eyes at this. It's like, oh, okay, this means we're going to be able to balance our weapons better now. We've heard that a million times, and it's never really happened. There's still only 3 viable guns. I don't understand why we can't have multiple guns that are all, even if it's the same stats, maybe they just look different, play a little bit different, but like they're still like same time to kill, same speed, same, like we can't have the numbers be the same. It makes no sense. Theoretically, that can now happen. Will they do it?
It might not have been.
I don't know.
So I'm not sure. I think that's part of the process of slowly maybe getting away from Warzone and multiplayer being in the same
Which
station.
I think is a move they
like
need
Warzone,
to make.
I've said it for years.
You have to be able to have its own,
100%.
100%.
Separate guns, separate maps, separate
They need to be able to
everything.
tweak it. If the game is broken, you can't fix it because multiplayer is holding you back. What are you doing? Oh, we can't fix that attachment. We can't have the same time to kills on these guns because that would ruin multiplayer and how multiplayer works. What are we doing?
I think it's time. It's time to break away. It's time to do that again.
I did a
just said
whole
the same
video
thing
about
last
this
year.
already.
But I think now it's really time. And so with this, they also announced
Maybe this is it happening.
Blackout.
We'll see.
Which this was, I think, their one more thing.
Hemp
like,
Knight,
hey
thank you so much
guys,
for the 6
we're
months.
announcing Blackout is back. Now, I think it's technically called Warzone map.
We already heard a lot of this in Westie's video too, so I want to get
If it's called
see
Blackout,
what he thinks about any
and
of it.
this then removes the loadouts, and it removes the perks, and it removes all that stuff, oh, I'm in, baby. I'm in. The one thing that I always tell people about Blackout was you had to find the gun that was meta. You had to find the attachments. You had to find
everybody's
perks
on a
and loot.
level playing field. That's the
And
biggest
that's
difference.
how you won. It wasn't, hey, we got $5,000. Let's go buy our loadout. And
It also wasn't, hey, I grinded this gun already for 3 hours in multiplayer, so now I can actually play the game.
sit and camp the rest of the game. It was like, okay, I got to go find the rampart, and I got to go find a.
It's inspired by Blackout, though, exactly. So I don't think this is going to happen. I think he's. I don't think this is going to be the
red
case.
dot sight, and I got to find a long barrel.
It just.
That is great news, I think.
I don't think
And
that's
they
the
were
news.
telling me 2026.
Don't take that as the expectation.
There was no time on that. It could be March. It could be August. So we don't know. So overall, Warzone, I don't think it does anything for anybody. I don't think it brings people back. I think, honestly, we may lose more and more people.
Yeah, we definitely will.
That title change, that thing where you can go, all right, this is actually new. And so I'm happy for Warzone people if they stick around that long, because I will be playing that as well.
So there you go. That's a bit on the Warzone comparison there. Good to hear both those guys' perspectives. Obviously, I chatted with a bunch of other creators. A lot of this was similarly echoed throughout it, and yeah, some good little extra tidbits of gameplay as well. The new signal area, and the map, which is kind of good to see as well.